Hi, Chair Powell, Courtney Brown from Axios. As you know, the 12 Reserve Bank presidents' terms are up for renewal at the end of February. I'm wondering if you can give us a timeline for when the board will consider those reappointments and whether we can expect everyone to be re-upped or if we can expect some changes.
So it's a process that we go through under the law. The way the law works is we have a reappointment process every 5 years for all of the reserve, each of them and all of them. We're in the middle of that process, and we're going to complete it in a timely way. And that's really all I can say.
Okay, thank you.
Daniel.
Daniel Davis, Agence France Presse. You've now had dissents in 3 consecutive FOMC meetings, but in this meeting you had dissents going in both directions, and you've just mentioned there's strong disagreement over the future path of rate cuts. Have these disagreements complicated your role presiding over the FOMC meetings, and if so, how?
I wouldn't say that, no. I think you have to take what comes, and what comes right now is a pretty challenging situation where we have, first of all, we have 4.3% unemployment. We have an economy that's growing close to 2%. So, overall, it's a good picture. It's a good picture. But in terms of our policy, we have upside risks to inflation, downside risks to employment, and this is a very difficult thing for a central bank because, one of those calls for rates to be lower, one calls for rates to be higher. We can't do both, so we have to balance the two. And so it's a challenging thing, and as we have worked our way through this process, you would expect that there would be a range of views across the committee on what to do and the speed with which we should do it. And that's what we have. That makes a lot of sense to me. All of these people are, people who take their jobs very seriously, work very hard at this, and just want to do what's right for the American people, but they have different views on what that is. And, it's an honor to work among people who care that much. It is, but I don't feel that it's unfair or anything like that. It's a time when we're making quite difficult judgments in real time, and I believe we'll get through this, and I think we've done sort of the right thing so far this year. I think it was appropriate for us to be careful about this. I think it would not be appropriate to just ignore or assume away the inflation issue. At the same time, I think the risk of higher, more persistent inflation has declined significantly since April. And if we do wind up resuming rate cuts at some point, we will at some point. I think we're trying to get to the end of this cycle with the labor market in a good place and with inflation, on its way to 2% or at 2%. So that's all we're trying to do, and we're doing it under, quite challenging circumstances. And